Hello and welcome. Today we'll be doing a little different video than usual. We're not doing a tutorial on a game or anything like that, we're doing a PC build. Now this is the PC that I have without few parts that I'm still saving up for. The total cost of this build is about $1,500 depending on the parts you choose. Let's start on the housing. The case is a Corsair Carbide Series Spec 03. Now this case is just beautiful. It has a preset LED fans at the front panel, and the left side it has a window panel so you can look inside your amazing build. Inside the case you'll have just enough space to set up this build and organize your cable management. Don't worry, it has enough space for airflow. Of course, the case does not matter at all. So if you're willing to go with another case, it is totally fine, but be sure you get it big enough so that all the parts can fit inside. The next part is the processor. I went with the Intel i7 4790K. Few good things to say about this processor: it has a really fast clock speed. The Core i7 runs at 4 GHz base clock and with 4.4 GHz on turbo mode. The CPU has 4 cores and 8 threads. This processor gets better temperatures than any of the old models. The old Haswell chip has a reputation of running hot. The Core i7 4790K fixes this with a few thermal interface material between the CPU die and the heat spreader. I chose this processor because it is overpowered in games and it helps a lot in editing. It also helps a tremendous amount in recording and especially in streaming. But if you're not willing to record, stream or edit, then I would go with the cheaper processor that is also pretty good, like the Intel Core i7 4770K. But if you're a content creator, I highly recommend the 4790K. You will need a good cooling system, so I chose the Corsair H100i GDX Extreme Cooler. It is a water cooling system that you don't have to worry about it dropping water inside your PC. The cooler is a beast, so if you're getting one, that means you're thinking about overclocking. If you don't want to overclock, then you might as well go with the Cooler Master Hyper 212 series that are a lot cheaper than the water cooling system, but expensive if you look at other air cooling products. Because the case I chose is black and red, I wanted to stay with that theme, so from there I chose the Gigabyte Z97X Gaming 7 motherboard. It is one of the best you could get at that price. My first thing to say about this is, it looks badass. Gigabyte did a very nice job making sure all the ports were visible and accessible. The motherboard supports up to 32 GB of RAM and promises solid overclocking and performance. The feature list of the Z97X Gaming 7 is long and includes gamer-focused features. The RAM is an easy choice because almost anything can go with this build, but I looked around for the best RAM, so I went with the Corsair Vengeance 8GB kit. Just to give you another option, since the Corsair RAM is a little more expensive than usual, you could get the Kingston HyperX. Now for this build I got the kit twice, but if you think you don't need 16GB of RAM, you can just get one. And again, I highly recommend 16GB of RAM if you're a content creator. It will help a lot in the long run, but if it's only for games, then 8GB might be enough for now. Let's take a look at the good stuff. I went for an MSI GeForce GTX 970 video card. You can't find a better one for that amount of money. I recommend this because it's a great card, it is quiet, it is very overclockable, and much cheaper than some other 970 options. The 970 has been running everything I throw at it with max graphics and settings. It is not a card that can run games at 4K graphics, but the mainstream games like League of Legends, Dota 2, CSGO, etc., it will have no problem running at 4K. I got the MSI version because it goes better with the red and black theme. The SSD I chose is the Samsung 850 EVO 250GB. If you want to spend a little more money, you can get the Intel SSD, but for this build we're gonna stick with the Samsung. But 250GB isn't enough, so I looked around and I found the Western Digital Blue 1TB hard drive for only about $50. I recommend buying 2 of them or just buying a 2TB hard disk. If you're wondering why you need 2 hard disks, well, I'll tell you why. The SSD will be mainly for Windows itself and the most used programs and games that will need a little more speed than usual. But the information like videos, pictures and also programs that you don't need so often will be in the Western Digital hard disk. Now the last part that powers all the other is the Corsair AX860. I personally wanted this one, but when I went out to buy all the parts, they didn't have this one at the store, so I had to go with another one. But the AX series are the best for gaming as far as I know. If you're curious with what I went with, is the Navinax 750G. It goes really well with this build, so I'm happy even though I didn't get the Corsair one. All the links of the parts will be in the description if you want to look at the prices. I'm not claiming this is the best gaming build you can get, but one of the best in this money range. For the next PC build, I will try to lower the price range and build the best performing PC for that certain amount of money. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, please leave a like and subscribe to get notified when I upload new content. And as always, see you next time.